From is a mystery/horror TV show that happens to be the spiritual successor to Lost. Everyone remembers Lost, right? Lost, right? Right. Imagine this. You are driving to work one day when you are suddenly teleported to a small 50s town surrounded by a thick forest. If you keep following the road, you'll just appear on the other side of the town. It's an endless loop. When night comes, strange people start walking towards you smiling. These are monsters, and if you let them come too close, they will maul you to death. That is the reality in which the men and women in this series find themselves. There are also talismans, ghosts, visions, teleporting trees and whatnot. That's spooky, eh? You would watch that, am I right? Before you rush to watch it, let me tell you, it isn't worth your time. Would you believe it's the most boring show ever made? Regardless of whether you have seen the show or not, its shortcomings are a great opportunity to discuss storytelling. So, let's do just that. Time is a precious resource in any audiovisual medium. In order to tell a concise story, some things have to be left off-screen. Why? You know why. Off-screen actions exist either because they don't advance the plot or because they simply aren't interesting. It could also be to avoid repeating information. Perhaps the film only shows the beginning of an action and implies the rest happened off-screen. This is a very basic concept in cinematic language. In short, unimportant events are kept off-screen in order to avoid completely pointless scenes. The viewer times must be valued. But some shows intentionally want to waste your time. Most of these are soap operas. Such shows have to produce 1,000 episodes every year. So, unfortunately, they kinda have to stretch things out. However, From doesn't have this excuse. It has only 10 episodes per season. Sure, you can argue that their time is more limited due to the demands of filming on location, but I just don't think it's a valid excuse for this level of time wasting. From has this odd disdain for off-screen actions. It has a habit of showing everything. I don't mean this in a one-shot way, but more like this. Character announces they are thinking of doing something. Character confirms they will do it. Character slowly walks to their destination. Character arrives at their destination and begins preparing for the action. Character finally performs the action. Doesn't that sound like the most exciting thing ever? No. The thing is, what you don't show can be as important as what is on screen. This approach is nothing short of pathetic padding. It kills the entire pacing of the show. A Steelman argument would say it's all building atmosphere, but I have to ask, what atmosphere? This brings us to the next aspect. Cinematography is the art of filming something, while stagecraft is the art of setting things up to be filmed. These aspects encompass many rich fields that enhance storytelling. Different camera angles, lighting, and shot composition can change the meaning of scenes and create complex narratives, even without a single line of dialogue. These are powerful tools that can transform a dull scene with subpar dialogue and poor acting into something exceptional. And then there's the soap opera way of doing things. Have you ever heard of blocking and shot/reverse shot? You probably have, but I'll explain them anyway. Blocking refers to the actions an actor performs during a scene, such as eating or walking. It's designed to make scenes more engaging and natural. Shot/reverse shot is a filming technique where the camera alternates between two angles, usually showing one actor's face and the back of the other actor. The problem with From is the same as with soap operas: a lack of blocking and an over-reliance on shot/reverse shot. In this show, nearly every dialogue scene follows the pattern of shot/reverse shot. There is very little interest in utilizing other camera angles. And because there is so little blocking, most scenes in this show are just characters standing and staring at each other while delivering trite dialogue. They are barely moving their hands, nor interacting with objects. To be frank, it's hardly the actor's fault that the director isn't giving them anything to do. The most common type of blocking seen in this show is walking, which is hardly worthy of a gold star. The sad thing about these follies is they stem not from a lack of budget, but from an absence of creativity. Even low-budget movies can achieve wonderful cinematography and intriguing blocking, as these don't necessarily cost anything. For instance, while shot-reverse shot requires a multi-camera setup, a long static shot using a single camera can be just as, if not more, effective. But that would require the director to show even the slightest interest in doing something artistic. And hey, why do more than the bare minimum?
I saw things that I don't really understand. Just things that I can't even remember. All I remember is being more scared than I've ever been in my entire life. And that's the truth.
Okay, fine. I'll turn around.
No, please don't turn around. Just keep going forward.
Whoa, lady, calm down.
If you turn around, you'll be driving away from town.
What town? We're looking for the highway.
I know, but...
And by the way, I don't mean to ask the obvious question here, but do you think it's really smart to do tarot readings in a place like this?
I'm sorry.
Hey, that's enough. We've got plenty to worry about without people sniping at each other.
Dialogue is the most versatile tool the writer has in their toolbox. On the baseline, it's just about communicating information between characters. However, it can be so much more. Good dialogue can characterize the speaker, establish character dynamics between characters, and provide vital information without stating it outright. But something to keep in mind is different styles of dialogue suit different projects. Some projects utilize more witty dialogue, others more serious, etc. However, I'd argue one rule applies to every type of dialogue. Don't make it boring. In my opinion, dialogue is boring when it is doing the mere basics. Generic dialogue is as dry as the Sahara. It is interchangeable. Any character could deliver the same dialogue. In other words, it is devoid of a unique voice. This is problematic because the generic nature of the dialogue prevents it from establishing subtext. When dialogue doesn't establish more than one thing at a time, it isn't valuing the viewer's time. Ultimately, it doesn't necessarily have to be funny or smart, but it should at least be entertaining. This is something From's dialogue just utterly fails to do. It's just the most basic thing with little to no subtext. It's a dried up sandwich with no butter or cheese. From has a lot of potential as a TV show. The few mysteries it hints at are intriguing. However, no twist or horror can truly be compelling when executed this poorly. Everything feels dragged out, and time isn't used efficiently. The characters are shallow and underdeveloped, but even that might be excusable if the show at least looked visually interesting. Unfortunately, the cinematography is lackluster. It just squanders everything. Not even once while watching this shit show did I feel it was someone's passion project. There's no sense that anyone actually wants to tell this story. The writers seem to have only the vaguest of ideas of where they want to take it. They are willing to make things up as they go along. That much is clear. Something I didn't mention earlier is that the show has a habit of abandoning plot lines, which only adds to the self-confused and uninspired experience. Perhaps they will turn things around in Season 4, but at this point I highly doubt it. Oh, and if you have somehow made it this far, consider becoming one of the first 100 subscribers to Story's sake. Your support would truly motivate me to create more videos exploring the ancient art of storytelling. But if you don't feel this channel is quite worthy of your subscription, I'll just say thank you for watching all the way through.
I want to catch one of those things.
Sorry, what?